Hey everyone, Jason here from Kinda Cool, and today I'm going to show you something I hope is kinda cool, and that's a cartridge cleaning video. So somebody from a Discord that I frequent, either it was the Poor Man's Retro Game Room or maybe my Retro Collective one, asked me to do a video on how exactly I clean my cartridges. I said, you know what, I can do that. So let's get right into it. So starting off with the tools you need, you're going to need a security screwdriver or a security bit like I just showed, and you're going to need some Q-tips, the more the merrier, depending on how dirty it is, and some 91% isopropyl alcohol. Some people use 70, I use 91 because it has a little more cutting power for what we're trying to do here. And today we're going to be cleaning up this Pilot Wings game. I just picked this up from my local Game Over retro store. 22% off sale, so I got 22% off this price, which made it not bad, and it made it worth a risk here to try to see if we can get it cleaned up, and I think we can. So let's take a look and see how good we can get this thing looking. So first things first, you're going to take your security screwdriver, like I mentioned earlier, and unscrew the two screws for Super Nintendo. Now, this screwdriver will work for Nintendo Entertainment System cartridges as well. Super Nintendo, I believe Game Boy as well. Most of the Nintendo stuff, Sega, and some of the other ones are going to need a different gauge, though, different size. And then we just pop the top off after the two screws come out, and we can actually have access to the full printed circuit board here. And you can take a look and see it's not too bad. But sometimes it can be a little deceptive. They can be a little dirtier than you think when you put Q-tip to metal here. And let's see what we get. So starting off not too bad, but we always want to at least do one pass of cleaning here. And we're gonna go ahead and take our Q-tip and dip it into the alcohol here. And I like to wring it out just a little bit, just squeeze out some of the excess. But you want to leave it pretty damp. You want to leave it soaking with that alcohol there. You want to get a nice good flow there. And then you just kind of go to town working over the pins with the wet area of the Q-tip. And you can already see it's building up some black there on the tip of that Q-tip. So this one was a little more dirty than it looked. Like I mentioned before, sometimes it can be deceptive, and this is definitely one of those. So you can already see we're picking up some grime. Remember, there's two sides of the pins here too, so we're going to flip it over and do the back side as well. Same process, soak the tip. We got a clean tip here on this one. And we're just going to go over and try to pick up as much of this kind of grime and mess as we can. And this one's actually the backside, and as per usual, sometimes the backside is a little more dirty even than the front side of the pins, and you can see that here. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and take it an extra step further. We're going to use the pencil eraser. Now this is just a standard vinyl pencil eraser cut in half, and you can use the standard pink ones as well, but they dust a little bit more and they tend to glom onto the pins a little more than these vinyl ones. So I really like these. I think for the application here, this really works well. And all you're really going to do is take the eraser and kind of find a clean spot on the eraser and kind of go to town on the pins here and see if you can buff them out. And you'll start to see them shine up a little bit here as it pulls some of that debris a little bit even further than what the alcohol can cut. You can see that in the eraser here. And it just kind of sticks to that eraser, and the friction really gives you that added oomph there to really clean these pins out really well and safely. So you can see it's building up quite a bit of dust, and we're going to handle that here in a second as well to make sure that we get all that nice and cleaned up, because you don't want any of this eraser dust, whether it be the pink eraser or the vinyl eraser, inserted into your Super Nintendo or whatever cartridge system console that you're cleaning up here. So we're going to clean that up. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So we're going to just start with the process that we originally started with, and that's just rubbing a little bit of the isopropyl alcohol over the pins. And we're really just kind of doing a final clean here. I mean, it looks like we're coming off pretty clean. You'll be able to tell when you're no longer seeing the tip darken of the Q-tip. And so we're already looking pretty good. And we're really just trying to get off a lot of these shavings as well here and knock those off. So again, they aren't inserted into the system when we pop this cartridge in for the first time. This is coming out pretty good. Not too bad. You can already see the pins are looking much better. But as a final step, what I kind of like to use is this multi-purpose duster. And you can use these for computer keyboards and things like that. You can pick these up at Target, Walmart, and just kind of lightly blow through the whole PCB, especially where you did the eraser shavings on front and back. Remember, do both sides. And sometimes you can see a lot of buildup and grime in these. Like sometimes bugs can get in here and lay spider webs and all sorts of stuff, and this is good for blowing those out. Next, we're going to remove any stickers, and in this case, we've got a couple price tags here. And these haven't been on for very long, so it's not that big of a deal. It's only going to take a few seconds, and we don't really even need any alcohol cleaning or anything to clean up any residuals here. But sometimes you will. Sometimes you'll have miscellaneous stickers from like rental stores and things, and those can be a big pain. But thankfully, this one came off pretty clean. And now we're just going to work on cleaning the shell. We're going to take this microfiber towel, and I usually get these at Costco in a big bundle. I use these for auto detailing as well. They're really handy. Put a little dab of alcohol in here, just get it wet enough to kind of get it damp, and start lightly going over the areas that you want to try to pull off the ink. And this is obviously a Sharpie pen here, so this isn't going to be one of those ones that just comes right off. It's going to take a little bit of work, and I knew that when I got it. So you're going to spend some time here if you want to get this right. Now you want to be careful not to get the alcohol onto the label, because that will start to strip the color off there. even on these Super Nintendo ones that have a little bit of the gloss, it will take the color out of them if you get it on there and leave it on there for too long. So be really mindful to not get that on there and just keep it on the plastic portion that actually right now has the writing. And you can spread it a little around as well. I mean, it doesn't matter if you get a little bit outside the lines on the gray cartridge, because we're going to actually do a final coat on that anyway. And in fact, the 91 alcohol coupled with the microfiber will take a little bit of the pebbled effect out of this, just a minute amount. But in this particular case, the trade-off is worth it, because we're going to try to remove this writing here. And again, it probably wouldn't even be anything that anybody would normally notice, and you're sure really just under a microscope looking for it. But it does take the kind of the top layer off in some instances. But again, we're going to take that trade-off here. And this is going to take a little while. So now what I found is that this is so embedded in here, I'm actually using the pencil eraser. And that'll give me a little more added power there. And after a couple more trips there, I think it probably did about 15 minutes worth of scrubbing alcohol and eraser. We got it out for the most part. I think we're at 99%. I'm just going through and cleaning the screw holes now and the little slots and grooves. So this is a kind of an earlier model SNES that has the big kind of fat, thick groove here. We're just cleaning that one out as well. Just the little stuff, right? The little stuff makes the difference. And so one thing that I actually do like to do is sometimes grime can build up in these kind of the grooves built on the left and right sides of the cartridge. I like to cut a Q-tip off at an angle. You can use one of the dirty ones you already dirty up in this process. And look at this nice little safe point that it gives us here in this rigid cardboard. And all you have to do is dip this in your alcohol. In this case we're using alcohol, but you can also use mild soap and water as well. And just rub it through the grooves here, and you'll be surprised sometimes what you'll pick up. This one isn't too bad. So there isn't a lot of grime in there to grab, but I've seen ones where it comes out as black as you've seen the Q-tip tips become from cleaning the pen. So yeah, this is a neat little trick that I use. You can do this on the back as well. And again, it's just the little touches that get it right. So here's kind of our final product here. We got probably say about 99%. I probably could have kept going on this and get 100. If it was a more rare title, I probably would have, but this is definitely ready to put on the shelf and show off, and it actually came out looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited with it now. All that's left to do is pop it in the system and play it, and we're definitely going to do that here in the near future. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was informative. If you have any questions or comments or anything about this, please leave them below. Keep an eye on my channel. I hope to show you something else that's kind of cool.